Hey crafty people, it's Tasha here for Trinity Stamps. Today I'm going to be playing with some shrink plastic to make some handmade charms that I'm going to turn into a keyring, and then we're going to make a gift box to go with them. So first thing that you're going to need is some shrink plastic. I found this in my stash when I was cleaning out recently, forgot that I even had it, and I thought that it would be quite fun to play with. So I'm not going to lie, what you're seeing here is not my first attempt. So I've got a piece of shrink plastic in my MISTI and I'm stamping the really pretty Merry Christmas sentiment that's from the Holiday Tag Helpers stamp set. So I'm going to stamp that straight onto the shrink plastic with some Catherine Pooler ink. Now this is not going to dry until you've shrunk it, so just bear that in mind. So I cut it down and then I used a hole punch to add a hole. I'm sorry that my heat tool gets in the way a little bit. It's kind of difficult to film because I've got to have the heat tool going straight down. So I have my heat tool. I really thought that I messed it up. As you can see, it kind of like shrunk. It went all, well, it's meant to shrink, Tash. It went all like bent up, and I thought, no, this is not working. Then I turned my camera off and I thought I may as well just heat it a little bit more and see what happens. And what happened was that it flattens out, but I didn't catch that on film. So I made the same one again, which is what you are going to see now. So bear in mind when you're using these, it's going to shrink up, it's going to shrivel, and you're going to think that it's ruined, but it's not. So here I am with my second attempt at these Christmas ones, and this time I got my metal adapter plate so that I could place that on top of the plastic once it had shrunk, just to make sure that it cools flat. So once I'd got those done, I thought it would be fun to die cut some of the shrink plastic. So I did that with the heart and the star die from the pillow box die set. I punched a hole in them again with a hole puncher, and then I just coloured them with Copics. And then you can see here I did start to learn that to keep it still I could use my tweezers, or you could use your stabby pokey tool thing, anything, just to poke through that hole to keep the plastic in place. So yeah, the biggest thing that I learned is that it looks like it's all gone really wrong until it goes right. And you just have to stick with it. So once I'd made those two, I was really super excited. So I cut a load more of the hearts and the stars, and I'm just going to add some colour on, just with some Copic markers. So I just used the stamp packaging to go behind it so that I could see where I was colouring. And yes, there does end up being Copic marker all over the back of that plastic packaging, but that does just wipe straight off. I also tried cutting a letter with the marshmallow alphabet dies to see how that would work. And there is the hole puncher that I'm using. I did struggle to line it up a little bit on that eye because it is pretty close to the width of the letter itself. So that's just how I punched all the holes in, just with that hole puncher. And then I brought in my heat tool, and this one is a dual speed heat tool, so there's two settings, and I used the hotter setting. Don't know whether you're supposed to do that, but I did and it worked. So just use your own judgment on whether you want to do that or not, because they do get hot. So my daughter has some jewellery making stuff, including this set of all different size. They're called jump rings. They're basically just the metal rings that you use to attach these charms. So I borrowed those off her, and also she had some keyring tags, like keyring things. So I decided that I would as well have a go at turning some of these charms into a keyring that I could then gift at Christmas. And I really love how it turned out. So I just added a few of the different charms, used some jump rings to connect them all and to have them at different lengths so that you could see all of the different things. I then also found in her stash some little metal made with love tags, and I added that on as well. I think that's a really cool gift. You could also use it to make necklaces, charm bracelets, anything you want. It's fun. So next I cut the pillow gift box die from some like turquoise, teal, pearl paper that I've got, cards that I've got in my stash. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how to put the box together because I did cover that in the introductory video for the box, so I will link that above. So if you do want some more information on how to do that, then head over to that video and I go through it in a lot more detail. But I love this die set, and this comes with that heart and star die. So everything that I made today, I just used one stamp set and one die set, which is really super cool. And I ended up with a really awesome handmade present with a really cool little handmade box to present it in. Oh, tell a little white lie. I did use the circle tag from the slimline tag die set, but you don't have to do that. I just wanted to add a little something. So I stamped some stars and a heart on that circle, again from that holiday tag helper stamp set. Stamped those in some gold pigment ink. Then on the back I stamped to and from, again from that same stamp set, and then I grabbed out some gold thread that I have and I cut a length of that and just started to wrap it around the pillow box. I just thought that would be a nice little touch, and this gold thread it sort of looks a bit like, I think over here we call it laminetta, but I don't know whether you guys have that. It's that plastic stuff that you throw on a Christmas tree, and when I was younger I always just used to think that it was just the bits of tinsel that had fallen off, because that's what it looks like, but longer pieces. I don't even know if you have that in the States. Am I making no sense whatsoever? I'll try and add in a picture of laminetta. But basically that's kind of what it made me think of, which is very festive. So I wrapped that round a few times, tied it in a knot. Then I got another piece of that same thread so that I could thread that through my little tiny gift tag. I then decided I wanted to add something else to the front of the box. So I cut the same heart from some turquoise teal paper that I have, cardstock. I keep saying paper, it's cardstock. And I grabbed some strong double-sided adhesive and just put a stripe of it going across that heart, trimmed that, and I did use a bit that I trimmed off onto the back so that I can use that to attach it to my pillow box. And then I grabbed out some of the fab foils from Wow. So they're not the heat transfer foils, they're the ones that will stick to sticky stuff, or to laminating layer. They're not the ones that work with hot foil, like your glimmer machine kind of thing. So I just used a couple of strips of the teal and the gold just to add a little stripe of foil to the front of my little heart. So I just added them in different places so that I'd have a strip that was just made up of gold and teal foil, and I quite like how that came out. And it's just a really easy way to add some foiling to your creations. So I added the thread for the gift tag onto the back of that heart. So I put it on some tape and then put some tape over the top of it as well, because that's going to keep it really secure, so it's not going to come off. And then I added that heart to the front of my box. I used it to cover the knot from where I tied that thread together that wrapped around it. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's really cute. I didn't have any tissue paper, but what I'm going to do is put some like pretty tissue paper inside that I can wrap that beautiful keyring up in and give it as a gift. And we're also going to make some more. My daughter wants to use it to make charm bracelets and necklaces, and yeah, I think you could use it for so many things. And I did go back after I'd finished filming and added one of those Merry Christmas little charms to the packaging as well, so you could use it to add to gift tags. There's just so many different things you could do with this stuff. It's brilliant. I love it. So I hope you like the video. I hope you like the ideas. Let me know if you've tried shrink plastic before and if you are going to give it a go. If you aren't already subscribed, then please do consider it. I shall see you guys in a week. Have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.